Gotta rock the double t-shirts too, no matter what. Ever since like grade 6, yo, I'll never forget the day. Yo, I was wearing my jacket out in spring with the one single t-shirt. Yo, it's getting hot out, we're playing kickball. I go to take the shirt off, sweat stains, bro. Put the jacket back on. After that, yo, double shirts. I'm not trying to fucking say like that this is the truth for everybody, like not at all. Like I'm trying to say this is the truth for myself, and I'm putting it together and I'm sharing it with the world along the way. And I feel I should have the freedom and the fucking encouragement to do shit like that. Like there's not even people, like I want to be the person to encourage people to explore your past lives and shit. Like don't be afraid to fucking like go down your own rabbit hole, man. Don't listen to what other people gotta say if it doesn't fucking vibe your way.
So explain to me how you figured all this out then on your own.
I have a couple friends that have helped me put together information by bouncing off them. Like I haven't had anyone tell me like I don't know how I feel about people when they just tell you like, oh yeah, you're this because you're that. Like I don't know, I'm open to it, but at the same time like I don't really I try not to believe things that I don't feel.
It's just a matter of growing up. That's what it is. Justin needs to grow up. I'm trying to open his mind to the reality of things. Like, dude, it's not always the way you want it to be, and you need to grow up.
Alright, so basically, I remembered my two most recent past lives. The most recent one being John Lennon, and the one before that, I was like a Nazi officer. How I remembered and how I put this puzzle together is from the information that I've seen and the similarities and the correlations in my life. So I'm picking up where I left off, really. Just how I incarnated to my family, the people that are my family, my parents, like the symbolic roles they play, to my friends, to my life partner Sarah, and like having a baby, and just the similarities of things that were incompleted.
I believe it's kind of, for me, it's believable for unlike a lot of like personal reasons. I've seen how like in our relationship stuff has like happened that's reminded me of John and Yoko.
And basically, John Lennon died at age 40. So what I'm putting together at age 21, I'm starting to put together the thoughts that were in John Lennon's head when he was 40. So what I'm communicating now and sharing like verbally is what he was putting together in his head, and he was trying to communicate, or he was on his way to communicate. Like, you know when you just feel like, oh, I don't need to do that because I've already been through it. Well, I feel like that goes back to past lives.
Like, that's so bold. Like, I don't think he even comprehends how big that is to say.
Most people would have issues with it, I guess.
I kind of think that our bodies are just trapped for our souls to reach outer limits, like go somewhere else other than Earth. There's something else out there.
Where do you think that is?
Anywhere. The soul can go wherever it wants.
I personally believe in it from a spiritual aspect because I believe that type of thing is possible. I believe in the eternity of energy. I believe that there is much more than just the physical material world that we live in.
Like, this is the funny thing. Like, John Lennon and Yoko Ono talk about peace and love, imagine peace, right? But like within their own lives, there was not like peace and love as it should. Like John Lennon comes out with Imagine the song Imagine, right? Mm-hmm. And all these songs and stuff. But meanwhile, like he's not seeing his son. He's not talking to like his Cynthia Lennon, like who has a child. Like it's like holes in it. It's like hypocrisy. If you look at the way John Lennon treated Cynthia Lennon, the way John Lennon treated his son Julian, and or the way John Lennon treat anybody, or like just like how anyone would treat anyone.
And I feel good that I'm making this documentary. I'm getting this out right now. I don't think I could even say this to his face, but I could say it to a camera, and it's easier for him to understand this way. And at the end of the day, Justin's gonna realize his eyes are gonna be open, and he's gonna thank me at the end of the day because I went out of my way to open his eyes to something he didn't realize in himself.
That's another part of it, like, because when we started Stone Monk and shit, like I had all the information, like I was just pumping out information, right? Like, this is the answer, this and that. But if I looked at my life and how I was living it, Yeah, it's like hypocritical. Like I wasn't living according to my own feelings. You say like, oh, people shouldn't do this shit, but then like you pinch like a little bud from your buddy's bag when you're selling it to him, or like you just do whack shit. Like you look the other way on yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like I've been doing for fucking mad past lives.
For me, it'd be hard not to believe Justin, because I believe in myself that I was a Jewish Holocaust survivor. And why I believe that is my whole life I was always told by someone who I met on the street, and they talked to me like, oh, you sound Jewish.
Like, that's why I don't think I abused alcohol or really drugs too much, because as John Lennon, I abused every drug I could fucking have. And same with like partying and fucking having like wild sex and shit. Like I would fucking like I did that already.
And I had an eating disorder, and that was like there wasn't any real reason like why I sort of developed the eating disorder, if you will, but I sort of placed it together after meeting with like someone who's more spiritual, that like, yeah, I was starved to death. So it's always been sort of more natural for me to not gravitate towards food.
It's learning how to deal with yourself. It's learning how to deal with what you created, and that's what I'm going through. Because as the Nazi officer, I couldn't deal with what I was doing, what I was allowing to happen. So basically, I fucking drank. I drank my demons to sleep every night. The way I was fucking mad, depressed, Nazi and shit. Like, you know, like fucking lost like in two, like between fucking. Like, you're between yourself, you know what I mean? Like, you want to fucking stand up to these motherfuckers, but you don't want to get a bullet in your head. Like, sure, it's like you get the perks. Like, you're a fucking Nazi, man. Like think of the benefits of being a Nazi from a Nazi standpoint. Like, fucking, like, you're royalty. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day and shit. Yeah. So it's like, it's a fucking, you're up against the wall, and it's a choice. And it's the right or the wrong one. And that's what I've been going through my past lives. I've been fucking seeing what's right and what's wrong. And I'm fucking going in the right direction.
I'm sure that even if I was researching for my past life, I would give it time. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't just instantly go with the first answer that I find and say that's my past life. And that's what I feel like he did. He pretty much thinks he uncovered that he was John Lennon, and pretty much jumped the gun and said, yeah, I'm gonna go, this is what I'm gonna go with. I can understand, like, you uncovered your past life. Like, that's a pretty big deal, I guess. Like, if I found my past life, I'm sure I would feel the same way too right now. But I haven't.
That's why I was born in, like, symbolically, John Lennon was born in 1940, right? As fucking the German Nazis were invading Liverpool. So while he was being born in the hospital, sirens were blazing and shit with the Nazis fucking invading. So right there, symbolically, what that means is fucking, I was born into what I helped create.
To put it lightly, I mean, it's not a popular belief. It's not taught in education, particularly in the West, and it's not a part of general thinking. As far as, you know, we watch TV and we're, you know, this is where our fiction and our creative life comes from. But physical life is, you know, is a job and a lot of material things, and to think that someone has this belief, a grandiose belief, you know, a lot of people start to believe it is a fictional thing, that it can't be.
Lives stick around, and how there's spirits all around us, and they're constantly around us, right? What spirits follow you around, what spirits protect you, and what they could tell you about yourself through what those spirits are telling them. They have, like, spirit guides, right?
That's what I think. That's what I think in a way John Lennon is to me. It's everything. Like, you know how people say, oh, if he's your spirit guide, well, you can't be him. Or if he's your spirit guide, that can't be true because of this. Or if you're John Lennon, like, you can't be saying this about this because you would know this. And it's like, fuck off. Like, that's what you think. Like, there's no limitation to the fucking truth, to the ultimate reality. Like, you can't fucking limit my experience.
It doesn't particularly even have to be a person. It could just be an event that seems to be ironically placed into your life, that for some reason you realize you're meant to learn a lesson from it, whether good or bad or whatever it be.